I do not love politics, but the man that Donald Trump has picked to be his running mate and potential vice president does have an effect on Bitcoin, and that I care about. So in this video, I'm going to go over who is the man that Donald Trump has picked to be his vice president, how does this affect Bitcoin, and how does another Trump presidency in general affect Bitcoin and crypto. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Hello everyone, my name is Tristan Powell, the Yonderpreneur. I help people learn to live geographically and financially freer lives. I've been traveling for the last 6 years of my adult life. I have been to 20 different countries. I have lived in 5 different countries. And I have started businesses in 3 different countries. And none of what you hear here is investment advice. Go talk to your qualified financial advisor before making any investment decision. Now, with all the action that has happened in the United States in the last 2 weeks, some very serious and important events. So I want to touch on something that may have been lost a little bit, and that is Donald Trump's pick for his running mate and potentially the vice president of the United States, given Donald Trump wins in November, Mr. J.D. Vance. So I'm going to do a little bit of an overview of who is J.D. Vance and why he is significant for Bitcoin and crypto in the United States. J.D. Vance is an American author, venture capitalist, former Marine, and now U.S. Senator. So a very decorated career. From Ohio, he gained national attention with his 2016 book, Hillbilly Elegy, which explores his upbringing in a working-class Appalachian family and the socioeconomic challenges of the region. The book became a bestseller and was actually adapted into a Netflix film in 2020. Vance graduated from Ohio State University and Yale Law School. He worked in venture capital before entering politics. In 2022, Vance was elected to be the U.S. Senate as a Republican representing Ohio. His political views on economic nationalism, advocating for policies that protect American workers and industries. So from his background, he sounds like a fairly intelligent guy. The kind of guy I wouldn't mind running the most powerful country in the world. Okay, so he's a good candidate. What does this have to do with Bitcoin? Well, when J.D. Vance ran for his senator position back in 2021, he made comments about Bitcoin and the Federal Reserve. So I'm quoting, "We have to stop the madness of the Federal Reserve and start focusing on sound money, which is why I'm a big believer in Bitcoin." He also tweeted in 2021, "Inflation is out of control and it's hurting American workers. Bitcoin is a hedge against the madness, and I'm proud to support it." Vance is also personally invested in Bitcoin, so he's walking the walk and talking the talk. He has 6.5 Bitcoin, which at the time of writing this video is 427,000 US dollars in Bitcoin. Also, as a senator, Vance has tried to bring in new pro-crypto legislature, also creating frameworks to try and protect consumers. And I know some crypto bros are probably rolling their eyes whenever someone talks about making rules for the space. Let's just take it from my perspective. I would rather have J.D. Vance making rules for crypto than someone like Elizabeth Warren. That's just my 2 cents. He is also concerned about over-regulation in the space. He doesn't want the United States to become uncompetitive in crypto. So I don't think he wants to make many rules anyways. Dare I say it, but J.D. Vance might be a bit of a Bitcoin maximalist. However, he has said that the realm of DeFi could bring some transparency to the traditional finance industry in the United States. J.D. Vance is probably the most pro-crypto, pro-Bitcoin, pro-financial independence senator in the United States right now, and he has potentially the option to become the vice president of the United States. So this is great news. Unfortunately, J.D. Vance will be only the vice president. So there is still one more guy above him who would be making the rules. That is Mr. Donald Trump, former president of the United States. So we should look at what he has said about Bitcoin in the past and then compare it to what he has said about Bitcoin more recently. He has seemed to have a bit of a change of heart. Trump was actually a harsh critic of Bitcoin in 2018. He actually asked the then Treasury Secretary Steven Mnuchin to clamp down on Bitcoin, calling it a potential fraud. And in 2021, he described crypto as a disaster waiting to happen and expressed his superior beliefs towards the United States dollar. So obviously, none of his former actions screams, this guy supports Bitcoin. Absolutely not. But over time, his opinion on Bitcoin has begun to change. In 2022, in an interview, he said the US dollar is his preferred choice of currency. However, he's starting to see the use cases of Bitcoin and that the American public has certainly begun to adopt it. And in 2024, 2 years later, he said this: a lot of people have begun to use it, so it is something he wouldn't want to take away from the public at this point. And then just this May, he started accepting Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies for his campaign donations. So Trump isn't as friendly as his vice president pick, JD Vance, towards crypto, but as a whole, this would be the most pro-Bitcoin, pro-crypto administration in US history, assuming they can win in November. So now I want to hypothesize what could happen during this administration regarding crypto and Bitcoin. Number one, regulatory clarity. Everybody in crypto is basically begging for this right now because under the current administration, it's been nothing but smoke and mirrors. For example, the SEC was suing Coinbase for selling unregulated securities, but then a few months later signs a contract with Coinbase and moves all the government's Bitcoin holdings into a Coinbase wallet, even though they were just suing them a few months ago. So under this administration, crypto seems to be not okay until it's something that's in their favor. So under a new administration, under a Trump JD Vance administration, we might have some regulatory clarity just to say, this is what you can do, this is what you can't do. And I think everyone in crypto just wants to hear that right now from the government. Number two, adoption and integration. Under a new administration, they might look into integration and adding blockchain technology into the government's current procedures. This would be along the beliefs of J.D. Vance's personal blockchain beliefs, where he believes in transparency from the government to the American people. The third thing that this new administration might do for crypto is just public perception. I think this is probably the least thought about, but most important thing about welcoming in this potential pro-crypto administration is just public perception. The president and vice president of the United States carry a lot of weight for Americans and people all over the world. People all over the world look up to these people to see what they are doing, because they are looked to be seen as intelligent and brave, like the people who know what's going on. If the people running the most powerful country in the world say they support Bitcoin, well, a lot of people everywhere else around the world will probably say they support Bitcoin as well. In conclusion now, wrapping up the video, a Trump-Vance administration could be a game changer for crypto in the United States and the world stage abroad. So JD Vance is almost a Bitcoin maximalist, and Trump seems to be okay with Bitcoin now also. So this could lead to a very good season for Bitcoin. But the change of public perception, we might start seeing new highs. Obviously that's speculation, but you can only see how things go. That is all for this video. I thank you very much for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, and my name is Tristan, the Yonderpreneur. I help people learn to live a financially and geographically freer life. If you're interested in anything that I've said in any of my videos, please feel free to reach out to me on my website, Yonderpreneur, or at x.com, both linked in the description below. Have a good one, everyone.